Well, hi, everybody. Oh, got my evil eye top on. A friend of my daughter's gave me this. I thought it was really, reminded me of my trips to Greece because this is all over Greece and a lot of other little evil eye deals. Some I brought back home with me. And I gave most of them away, and then the other one broke on me. But we always do that. We buy stuff for other people that we love, and sometimes you just want to give it all away. At least I do. If it's something I really like, I'm so happy with it. I hope you're all doing great out there tonight. And I didn't know what to read on, like always. I've been writing stuff down for a long time. So, but I didn't know what to read on, so I just thought I'd go back through what I had written down, and then I even turned my other little iPad on because somebody just asked me a question about some kind of diet pills. Maybe we'll see what comes up in the card about them. I could use some diet pills. I'm fighting my weight so bad. I can tell I'm feeling better from getting out of the hospital because it's every day is a battle. Every day is a battle. And I felt like I had it so much under control, and addictions are like that. You have them under control till you don't. And I need to go back and realize that food is an addiction with me, and I need to work on it every day and realize that there are things, there's just no such thing as one, and it all has to be written out and planned out ahead of time for me. I know a lot of people would laugh at that, but that's the only way I can get it to work for me. So I want to thank Hilda Flores, and then the Mystery Achiever, because she goes through, and both of these ladies do it at certain different times, but go through and put timestamps on my videos, and I want them both to know how much I appreciate it, you know, when they do that. And I got a text from Hilda saying that, or not a text, but a comment from Hilda saying that she'd been too busy to do this recently, and so, but I want to thank her for it, and I want to thank Mystery Achiever, who's been doing it, and I just want them to know that they're appreciated very much. Because sometimes I forget to do that. And some of the things going on out there are just hard to even imagine if you're not from the 1850s instead of here we are in 2020s, and we're going back 200 years. They're trying to ban, in Tennessee, they signed a bill to ban any kind of cabaret shows. So they've been going on so long that the governor that signed the bill was having them when he was in grade school. Like I was talking about in that video I did a long time ago about drag shows. We all thought it was fun, and we all had fun with it, and so it has people for the last 60 years, but they decided with the Coke money's behind that. I just heard that tonight, and how somebody had did a deep dive on that, and a journalist who was an investigator, the ones behind these people that were showing up at all those school meetings and stuff. I knew they weren't local, and the money was coming. They traced it back to 2 or 3 different things, right back to the Koch brothers. So, and Betsy DeVos had thrown a bunch of money in there too to back them once 3 mothers got together to start it, and then they ended up getting funded and refunded because they'd love to get totally rid of public schools. That way they can dumb down everybody, keep everybody stupid, and if Florida gets away with it, they're going to end up doing it in all these other states. They're going to, do exactly the same thing where they've got a Republican House and a Republican governor like they do in Florida. If Florida gets away with it, The rest of them are already pushing it out. I guess it's Tennessee that banned it, and they also wanted to, I don't know if this was in the bill or if they were just talking about it, but any kind of gender affirming care, even for adults. And they need that care all their life. They're banned, you know, they're not allowing that. I guess if you're transgender, you got to move out of Tennessee. I don't, Oklahoma, gender. Looks like it was signed in too. You know, the first time I ever heard about transgender, I was really young. I'm not even sure if I was married, or it may have been right after I got married. And I got married when I was 17, so I would have still been really young. And I did a lot of reading when I was pregnant with my second daughter, so that would have been before I was 20, or at 20. I had her when I was 20. I remember thinking that's the strangest thing I ever heard of, because it was just getting in where you were hearing about it a little bit. And the first lady that had ever done that, Christine Jorgensen, she had written a book about it. And I thought it was the weirdest thing I'd ever heard in my life. And then after reading her book, I felt so sorry for her. And I knew that, I mean, by the time she got through, and to have the nerve and the energy and the fortitude to go through that. And I think she was going from a woman to a man, if I'm not mistaken. Well, no, I don't know how they would have worked it. I don't know, because now they call them by their new name, but maybe then they would have called them by their old name. And so the book was written by Christine Jorgensen. So maybe it was a Chris that went Christine, or vice versa. But my comprehension of that book is I thought of her as feminine all the way through, so it was probably from a man to a woman. And it changed my outlook on it. I never had a problem with it after that. You didn't hear about it for all these last 30 or 40 years. I mean, I'm 80, and that's when I was 20, so go figure that. So that would have been 60 years ago. But that's when, you know, and she had this done, I think she was in France or something. I think she had to go to France to have it done. I don't remember, because it's been 60 years ago, but I remember that was one of the most eye-opening books I ever read in my life. And I thought that it was the most amazing person that I had ever read about, to think that they had the courage and the conviction to go through and do that. And so I just think it was, I just think she was really, really special to have done that. And I know I think she died pretty young, and I know that they came after her like crazy. You can imagine how horrible people were to her. So I don't remember I remember hearing something about it years after I read the book, not too many years, but I don't think she even had a really long life unless she went into seclusion. But anyway, it was not easy, and I admired her. And and it's just scarier and shit to think of DeSantis ever getting in there. I never seen such a Nazi. And he's getting away with all this shit because everybody's dumb, and if he can keep him from learning anything in school, nobody after him ever has to worry about anybody being smart enough to get rid of these people. They can just fill them up with propaganda, and they're going to believe every word of it. It's just scarier and shit. But life is what it is, and we are where we are, and it is what it is. My guides kept telling me, every time I start to get upset about this, they say, we are where we are, and it is what it is. And we're exactly where we should be. And we're exactly where we should be. So, we are where we are. It is what it is, and we're exactly where we should be. So, and then my favorite mantra after that is, I forgive you, I forgive myself, and I release this to the Holy Spirit. That's the best mantra in the world if you want to heal up tension, stress, anger at somebody. Those are the most anger-releasing words. And if you're being a Libra, I've only been really, really angry, maybe 3 times in my life. It takes very much to get me fighting mad. But when you really get upset, so upset that you think you're going to burst, and I haven't had this happen in years, thank God, you want to say that is, I forgive me, I forgive you, and I release this to the Holy Spirit, or either I forgive you, I forgive me, I release this to the Holy Spirit. Either way, but just keep saying it out loud, and you can actually feel your stress draining off. You can feel it draining off. It will actually drain off. So that's what you have to do. I've been watching some of the other readers. All this stuff's been answered 100 times. But when I say this out loud to people, they usually text me, or if I read for them all the time, or either do replies and say, but they like to hear different people read it in different ways. And it usually comes out pretty close to the same. In fact, all the readings are so nice. It would be nice to see that come into fruition, and it's time for it. But let's see. Let's see what I've got here. I've got let me get something to mark these with, so I'll know which ones I read on which. I've had a lot of people ask about Don Turner. I used to know a guy named that, and he kind of reminds me of Don Jr. But this is Donald Trump Jr. In fact, I think this old friend of mine has transitioned, and he definitely, I'm sure, would. I hadn't talked to him in the last 30 years, but I'm sure he would have been on the Trump bandwagon, because we were always opposites anyway, even back when I knew him. But so let's read on I almost don't want to read where I've got all the questions asked, because I don't want to lay the cards on top of them. So I'm going to have to figure out what to do here. Sorry about that. Give me just a second to move. We got it. So let's read on D3 Jr. I don't even like to say that name out loud. It's said millions of times a day on this earth, and every time you say something, it gives it energy. So it's it just makes you wonder, should we say it? I mean, if you're reading cards, I guess you got to talk about what you're going to read about. But what's going on with you? God, can you believe his little cocaine voice? I mean, he don't even have a voice anymore. It's just gone. He's put so much of that stuff down his nose that I think it's interfering with his throat and his voice box and everything. And we all have our addictions. I shouldn't say that. It'd be nice just to be able to wave your hand and get rid of everybody's addictions, even your people you don't agree with, or the people we don't agree with. Let's put it that way. But so everybody wants to know about him, because he is getting called in just like his sister. And I'm going to read on his sister too. And I think I probably read on him last time I did cards. I don't remember. But anyway, that was one of the most asked questions. Everybody wanted to know again what was going on with him for some reason. So, he's trying to hold his ground, hold his ground. That's a signifier. He feels like he's fighting his own wars, and he probably is. But look what's right on top of him. Justice is right on top of him, so if he's supposed to go in and testify, he will show up to testify. So if that's what everybody wants to know, we should just stop there, but I'm going to go ahead and draw a few more. The foundation is the Ace of Wands. So I feel like they're not going to put up with any bullshit on him. None at all. They're going to say this is what it is and this is what it is and we want the whole truth, nothing but the truth out of you. And I think on some level he may know that, because this is like he knows when he goes in there and faces this that it's no bullshit deal. It's not like even in his, I was going to say coked up head, but that's not a nice thing to say. But anyway, even there, and then he's always felt like he had enough money, he didn't have to worry about anything. But look at this. Looks like maybe. Yeah, maybe. So, that's what he thought to start with. That's in the past, because now he feels like he's getting hung up by his heels. He doesn't think it's around his neck yet, but he knows he's not going to get out of this. He's getting hung up by his heels, and he's going to have to start cooperating with somebody. And this is his near future. This is in his future. So if he thought any different, he better unthink it, because here comes the tower down on him. In the 7th house, which is in his house, he's trying to wonder how much to give. How much does he say? How much does he give him? And how much can he get away with keeping back? But he better pay attention to what he's doing, because if he starts lying or giving him any crap, he's out in the cold. This is right next to the Ace of Wands down here. And like I said, they're serious. They don't want no bullshit. His winning days are over. He's been worried that he wouldn't be able to get away with this, everything, and come out a winner. And this is his hopes and fears. He's worrying about, pretty much thinking now, even in his kind of messed up ideals at this time, that maybe he's not going to make it through this. At least not come out on top or be the winner. And this is the outcome, so he's definitely not going to be the winner. I wouldn't want these cards. So this is Donald Trump Jr. He's trying to take the high ground. Justice is right on his ass. He ain't going to be able to baffle him with bullshit. We want the truth and nothing but the truth. And right now, even though he thinks he's protected by his money, for some reason it's dawning on him when this all comes together that that's maybe not going to protect him like he thought. Let's hope not. Let's hope not. All of us. Let's hope not. But he's even thinking that. He feels like he's being strung up by his heels. How dare them? He still feels indignant about it. But it doesn't make a whole lot of difference, because it's this whole tower coming down. So whatever he says, he's going to really incriminate himself or somebody else when he goes in for that deal. He's going to incriminate himself or somebody else. I don't know if this is him trying to figure out how much to give him, or if this is him trying to save his ass and say, I'll give you a bunch of stuff. But either way, that's not going to work out, because here's the out in the cold. It's too late for that. And it's too late for him to be a winner. And this is never good. It's my most scariest, to me, thing in the whole deck is the Ten of Swords. So no, he's not going to come out of this. With the Justice card right over him and the Ten of Swords at the end, before this is all over, I think he's going to be under some kind of incarceration. Definitely. So that's DT Jr. And the next one everybody wanted to know about was Tucker Carlson. Everybody keeps asking about Fox News. Who in the hell knows, with all the corporate money they got behind them and all the other news medias and all the corporate money they got going, that they can't even talk about the real news or what's really going on in our politics, that everything's bought and paid for in this huge kabuki theater. They just, let's see what happens to him. So this is his life or so going forward into the next year or year and a half or whatever. Tucker Carlson. God, I can't stand that man. Tucker Carlson. I bet that thing's jumping all over that iPad sitting up there, and every time I do that, I got my foot on the table, and I need to make sure I keep my arms back away from it because it's shaking the whole table. Had the Ten of Swords on the bottom. I don't know if I'm going to go through them again a couple times. I was getting ready to start using them to cut them and do it, but I didn't want to. In case I just stuck that on the bottom, I didn't remember. I put them all back in there, I thought, in the middle. Okay, so Tucker Carlson, what's going on with you, Tucker? Well, he's not as happy as he appears to be. He's already paranoid, schizophrenic, delusional on some level, even to himself. I mean, we knew he didn't believe the shit he was pushing, but then to be back pushing the same shit when they're still not even through with this lawsuit yet, it's unbelievable. So, he may be sitting there like with that look on his face, like he's taking a dump. That's what he always looks like. But he may be sitting there looking like he's crapping his pants. But if he's crapping his pants, it might be for real. Because he really thinks he's going to be one of the bullies that's left standing. This is what he thinks is going to happen. This is the influence over his obstacles. He thinks if he just still keeps throwing it out there, really he doesn't know what to do. Because if he backs DeSantis and DeSantis doesn't win, then they're all in trouble. If he backs Trump and DeSantis comes in, DeSantis would probably end up doing it because he's a major manipulator anyway, and he's worse than Trump. He is scarier than Trump. I hate to say that, but anyway, neither one of them's getting in there, so we won't have to worry about that. But yeah, he doesn't know quite what to do about the bully. He doesn't know whether to walk away, stay there, keep doing all the bullshit. He doesn't really know what to do because he knows he's kind of between a rock and a hard spot, but at the same time, he still knows he's protected by the big money from Fox and all that kind of stuff, and his money. I mean, he's probably got more money than Fox, truth be known. I mean, how would you feel if you were the heir to the Swanson fortune from Swanson Frozen Foods and then been doing corporate news for the last 30 years, and they make, I don't know what they make, but I know it's millions. So no telling how much money. He might have more money than Donald Trump says he has. But the foundation of this is not good. It's not good at all. He's worried about how this is going to turn out. He's not only not sure which way to turn from the first two cards and being stressed out and losing sleep over it, he's just worried about if he's going to turn the right way or come out of this. He's not sure he's going to end up coming out of this. He was trying to balance the money for Fox. This is upside down, but they weren't doing it the right way. Had they just went with the truth and jumped right in there and held their ground, all these other people would have been back over to Fox. They weren't going to listen to that. That was even the 3 or 4 times I've seen clips from that OAN and stuff, it looks like about a fifth-rate newsroom even. I mean, everything they do is, I can't imagine people spending very much time watching that shit. So they should have just, he shouldn't have worried about the money. They should have just went for the truth after the I mean, they weren't going to tell the whole truth about what assholes Republicans are, but they could have went for the truth that the election wasn't stolen. So here's the law coming in on him. So we got investigations, and I really feel like these are more than just the investigations coming in against Fox. I think maybe this is going to get them tied up in this insurrection stuff. Maybe from, let's see, from who? Well, they're going to, even though he's got all that media, I've had a lot of people ask about that they gave only to him. Something's going to happen in the courts, or something that's going to end up tying his hands up about it. In the 7th house, I've got a death card. And that's his house, personally. He's a pretty young guy. I don't think he's dying. I think this is the death of his career, maybe at Fox. It won't be the death of his career. He'll just go into hawking something else, some other kind of lies and shit on some other program. But I really think maybe they're going to have to fire him, or maybe he's already got plans. You know, I said he, not to be surprised if he ends up running for president, especially if Trump ends up being indicted and doesn't run because he's facing jail time or maybe already halfway convicted. If that happened, I could see Tucker Carlson going against him. He's been on a third party. I don't know what you have to do, but he's got enough money. And I hate to say this, but it wouldn't shock me at all if he didn't throw his hat in the ring for president. Looks like he's got enough trouble coming after him. But anyway, I think this is his career at Fox News is over. I don't know which way he's going after that. And please, God, I hope I'm wrong. The last thing we need is him in there. One thing he doesn't have to worry about, what's around whatever decision he makes when he leaves there, is he's got enough money. He don't have to worry about money. This is family money. This is generational money. So that's the energy around that death card. So even if he leaves there, it's not going to hurt him financially, but we already knew that. His hopes and fears, we got the Ace of Wands here. Well, he knows that everybody except the people that watch Fox News knows he was lying through his teeth. The people that watch Fox News don't even know there's a court case going on, or don't even know that any of these emails changed hands, and that they all think they're a bunch of fucking idiots. But we know that story. So, ooh. So the outcome is him turning over a whole new leaf. So you know this is for show. This couldn't be for real. People like him don't turn over a whole new leaf, and they don't all of a sudden, I don't know. In a real world, where real news was going out, he would be thrown out in the cold, and maybe the only friends he'd have would be his family, if he's got any family left. But at the same time, he may say he's quitting just to be a family man or something, or just to spend more time with his family or something stupid like that. But whatever's coming up, it's a world change for him. It's a total world change. So if I was reading these for a total stranger that somebody told me was a news person, I'd say he's not going to be doing the news anymore. He's going to be doing something else. And that's almost scarier. But let's go back through these real quick. We got him losing sleep at night. We got him didn't know whether to walk away from the bully or jump in the bully's lap, like always. Whichever bully he decides to follow, whether it's DeSantis or Trump, they're both bullies. He knows things aren't looking very good for him. Not at all, as far as his career at Fox News. He was trying to, I'm turning it right side up while I got it there. It came out upside down. They were lying through their teeth at Fox News because they were worried about their ratings. That shows that, trying to bump their ratings up. And he might get pulled into this insurrection because of what was being done at Fox News, because his hands are tied, or going to be tied on some few things. And here's the end of his career. Don't have to worry about money because he's got plenty. This comes down on him a lot harder than he thinks it was going to. And so his excuse is spending time with family or doing something totally different, whatever. I know this sounds impossible. I'm going to say it's the end of his career as a newsman. But that doesn't mean he might stay in politics or around it and be more harmful. But from what these cards are saying and what I'm picking up from him is what he does for most of the day or most of his life, it's coming to an abrupt halt in the next year and a half or so. And there's a big change there coming through. So that's what's coming out in the cards for that. And so I did put those all back in different places. And so the next one is Mike Pence. God, I can't even imagine him wasting the time or money to say he's running for president. But he's talking about it. I can't imagine anybody voting for him. It's the most two-faced person I ever seen in my life. And I'm sure he's a total degenerate. Anybody that goes around calling their wife mother, there's something really, really weird going on there. Really, 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 really weird. So, I don't know. So Mike Pence, here they were trying to hang his ass, and he's afraid to testify and tell them what in the hell happened, what in the hell he knows, what in the hell was going on. If that's not a traitor, I don't know what is. This is for entertainment only. This is YouTube for entertainment only. But if that's not let's just say a traitorous reaction from a vice president, and I don't know what would be a traitorous reaction if you don't want to go and testify on what was going on leading up to somebody trying to overthrow our government. I mean, that's not even, that's incomprehensible if you're really thinking about it. So Mike Pence. Is he going to have to testify? I think, did they already say he was or not? I don't remember. My car broke on me today. I was taking it to the car place. The battery was totally dead, and I just put a new battery in it. And so I went in to call them to have them tow it down there. And guess what? They'd canceled my towing on my car because it's 20 years old. It's just like new. It's only got 70,000 miles on it. And it's a Toyota that I've kept in top shape and inside and out. And everything on it that needed to be changed has been changed. It's only got 70,000 miles on it. But anyway, it still smells like new inside almost. So, anyway, oh, there's the guy that owns the place I was taking it to is going to come by in the morning at 7:30. Do you realize what time I got to be up to be ready to deal with that by 7:30 in the morning? But anyway, I'll do it. That's like the middle of the night for me, for somebody who don't get up till 10:30 or so, because I stay up till 3 every night. I have to take something to make me go to bed here in a few minutes. It's already 9 o'clock. So anyway, so we're doing Mike Pence. So what would possibly be on somebody's mind like that, that's refusing to testify and saying he don't need to, when he's right in the middle of an insurrection? And personally, what I think is that the less he has to say, the better, because I think he's in this so deep that he's like a little bird that was sitting in the middle of the road screaming because he was so cold, and a cow came along and shit on him. And all that was sticking out was his head. All of a sudden he was warm. He wasn't cold anymore. He was freezing before because it was icy cold weather. But he kept cheeping, and pretty soon, I don't remember what it was, came along and pulled him out of there and ate him. And that's the moral, is if you're up to shit in your neck, if you're buried in shit up to your neck, keep your mouth shut. I'm telling that story wrong, I'm sure, but that was always my favorite story. So that's Mike Pence. The reason he don't want to talk to anybody about nothing and say he don't have to and say that this and this and this is because he's right in the middle of this shit. I mean, it wasn't like he told anybody ahead of time that they were planning on overthrowing the government, and he knew they were. So that puts him right in the middle of it right there if he didn't do anything else, but we know he did. We know he was in on these meetings, that he knew what was going on. So that's why he don't want to testify, is he's afraid he might end up incriminating himself if he testifies. So that's what's going on there. That's why he don't want to do it, but let's see what's going on with him for the next year and a half or what. Well, he's definitely walking away from politics. First two cars out are still upside down. And we got Michael, we got the Page of Swords. And this is, to me, an unholy look on his own religion. He's going to feel cut off because he always thought he knew better. But he always pretends that he's protected because he's so religious, but he knows he's in the sewer with the rest of them. Look at this. So we got Michael cutting him off from higher hell. Shouldn't say that because you never know who's cutting him off from higher hell. But that's Michael. He's not protecting him. He's a warrior. He's going to help seek justice in this state. So that's Michael's. This is Michael seeking justice in a signifier role. Here's the hangman. We got him, don't we? We got him. So anyway, so here's the hangman. That's the energy around this. Here's the King of Pentacles. He's in trouble because of Trump, because of having his whatever up Trump's butt all this time. This is for entertainment only, for YouTube. He's relying in the past, or has relied, maybe on Mother. This is a woman, and it is somebody he's really fond of, or he thinks can pull him out of something, even if he thinks of her as a mother instead of his wife. He's relied on her in the past. This is some woman. This is some woman in power, though, that he's... Maybe it's Rebecca Mercer or something. Somebody that he's felt like could keep him out of everything from the past. So it's somebody from his past that he felt like kind of took care of him and covered up some scandals or something. He's always got his gig of religion. This is in the sky. He can always holler, well, I was doing this, or this for peace, or this for God, or something. He'll bring it in there. Giving out to the poor, doing something. But his future is not good. And even the money he's got is not good. So he might be in enough trouble where he really has to go into enough. I'm feeling like this is legal bills that it might put a strain on his money, even the money that's being sent to him to run again. I don't think there's going to be much money sent to him to run again. In his mind, this is in the 7th house. He still thinks he's the star. He thinks if DeSantis and Trump beat themselves up enough that he could end up in the race. But he'll be lucky if he don't end up in jail making license plates. Look at this. And it is maybe something he thought he was going to just march into, but he's not. On some level, he is worried about this. If he has to testify, if he has to tell the truth, that this is going to be a total end to his career. It'll be an end to his political career. And he still know what he wants to say. He's still wondering if he's going to tell the truth and the whole truth, nothing but the truth. He's really worried about not knowing what to say. But whoever questions him when he goes in is going to be a female who really knows her stuff. The Queen of Wands knows her stuff. And he's just going to tremble in his boots over it. And just say whatever he can to save his ass and leave politics. Or either this is going to jail. Sometimes this is going up the river to jail. But I'm not going to say jail. I'm just going to say getting out of there. Leaving the scene. So we got all this spiritual help he thinks he's got is not there. This is lesson time. He's hung this up about as long as he's going to get to hang it up. Talk about the hanged man. Turn that back up straight this time. He got in all this trouble paying attention to Donald Trump. His ace in the hole has always been some woman that's kind of just giving money or helped him or something. Like I said, this is some big muckety-muck. You know, he's going to pull on his religion, Mother and I and Jesus and no gay or whatever. He'll be pulling on that, but it's not going to get him. He's still going to be out in the cold. In his mind, he still thinks that he'd like to do something for America. So he's rationalized this some way in his mind. But it might end up putting him in jail because of that. Because on some level, he really thinks that he's in a world of shit. Look at this. This is his hopes and fears. He's losing sleep at night. He's already rehearsing what he's going to give out and what he's not if he ends up having to testify. He's going through his mind every night. There's some woman prosecutor that's going to open him up like like she's got the key. And then here he is, either leaving politics or going to jail. So it couldn't happen to a nicer guy. And don't ask me when. Everybody always writes and asks me when. I don't know when. I went over this whole month's calendar today to see if something exciting was going to happen, and it looked like it was going to be steady all month. A bunch of news coming in, but nothing big coming down. But that doesn't mean that it won't. I don't think Spirit knows. As slow as these people all are, and all of a sudden they said they were getting ready to prosecute right before Donald Trump said he was running for office. That's a stupid get-out-of-jail-free card free for Merrick Garland. He knew he was going to run for office, and he knew he was an asshole. So I don't want to hear that. But we're going to hear it. We're going to hear all the stupid excuses. And you see, I can't even read this. Money Wars. LOC. Oh, set up by Trump. Yeah. Yeah, I don't even have to read this. So I was going to read and ask if this LOC set up by Trump, where all this money that was supposed to be coming in to help find the truth or what in that election and stuff, it all went into his pocket and a couple of his friends' pockets. They're researching that, and yes, it is going to get him in trouble. We don't need to read on him again. He's going to be in trouble for that too. Maybe I'll ask that next time. And then probably everybody in the whole world's read on Jack Smith. I guess we could read on him and see what's going on through his head. I don't know if anybody could get into his head. Everybody used to say that that other guy, everybody was thinking was going to be their hero. I was hoping he was going to be, but I wasn't as convinced as some people because I knew he was a Republican. But that first guy that did the investigation. But let's see what Jack Smith. Let's see what is the right question to ask. Is this investigation he's doing going to pay off for the people? Is justice going to come? Let's see if justice is going to come out of this investigation Jack Smith's doing. So we're going to. This is his energy. Is he going to get justice out of this? Sounds like Garland needs to clean out the FBI if he hadn't already. First thing they need to do is fire the guy in charge of the FBI. He should have never been left in there to start with. That was a stupid move. We all make mistakes, but I think part of Biden's stuff was he just wanted to make sure that nobody thought he was like Trump. Well, Trump was so unlike any president. There was other precautions that needed to be taken, no matter what it looked like. They all worry about what it looks like for re-election and how much money's coming in. So, Jack Smith. Slow moving night. So this is whatever he's doing, it's going slow. Maybe not because he wants it to go slow, because if there's, like I say, every time he starts into something, it just goes one way and the other way and the other way. It's just going all these different tributaries coming off this flood of incestuous treason. That's what I'd call it. So, what's going on in this investigation? Well, they're working on it and as fast as they can. They are going at it, full of energy. We got 2 nights here. They got a lot of people spilling the beans. A lot of people coming in, spilling the beans on them. A lot of people trying to offer to talk to get out of jail free card. I like this. I got the lovers for the foundation. So if everybody ends up loving Jack Smith, it's because he ends up indicting Trump and all of his cronies. So this is good. I like seeing this in the foundation. He's looking over all the evidence. There was a whole much there when he even came in, and he's still looking at that. But You got a broken heart here in the sky, and I think this is all the people because they just thought he was going to come in there and jump on it. I thought he was going to jump on it faster than this. And every time I read cards, it looks like we'll be lucky if this is even taking place by the end of the year. But anyway, well, I'm not going to go into that right now. We're going to say it could happen any minute. But, yeah. In the sky, this is the people and the energy around this. It's going to really disappoint people if they don't come through with some indictments. But here's him studying the law, and I really feel like this might be Merrick Garland holding him back a little bit. I don't trust Merrick Garland. I'm not saying he's a bad person. I just... Whatever. But anyway, hopefully he won't hold him back. He just wants everything to be perfect and know that he's got a conviction. And we got justice. This is great. We got justice in the 7th house. And we were asking what was going on with this energy. So that's good. I would say indictments are coming through or pending or whatever. And we might be surprised. Look at this. This is the energy around justice. I like to see this. This is justice coming in a hurry, so this may happen quicker. You know, I imagine probably the rest of you guys are just like me, that you're getting discouraged. You know, you keep thinking something's going to happen. It's like waiting for Christmas, but you got to wait for 3 years for Christmas. So this is the energy around this justice coming in a hurry. So we might be hearing about this quicker than we think. They're going to find out a lot of people that were supposed to be in the law and supposed to be taking care of this. This might be some of this stuff coming out about the FBI. And I don't mean the bullshit that the Republicans are spreading about them. I'm talking about the people that were in there trying to help Trump and not paying any attention and just being loyalists. But it looks like they may be on their way out because we've got this upside down in the hopes and fears. And we got Michael here blocking it. Protecting him, keeping his energy around it. So we're just starting March. Maybe by June we'll hear something. We got the 3 of Wands. God, I hope it's before June. But, I don't know. I'm not doing any more times. I'm tired of trying to figure out what times. So this is them trying really hard and putting a lot of young energy toward it. They are getting a lot of offers. A lot of people are spilling the beans. The base of the reading is people are going to be happy. That's good. A lot of evidence put back. It's funny. We got the Lovers at the bottom. We got the 3 of Hearts in the sky. This is how disappointed people will be if this doesn't come through. This is Garland, I think, looking everything over. But this is justice coming through. This is in the 7th house, so it is going to come through, and it's going to come through quickly, it looks like. Let's hope so. A lot of the people, I think a lot of the holdup on this has been the FBI. A lot of them were zealots, and a lot of them were right in this thing for Trump. But they're going to cut them out of there. Anybody they're still cleaning behind the boundaries, it looks like. But it looks like we'll be hearing something within the next 6 months. Maybe with this card, it's the 3 of Wands, so there's energy coming out all over. It's not like we're not going to hear nothing, but maybe things are really going to get rocking. It's already rocking as far as all the news we hear every day, but everybody's so used to hearing all this crap that they're we're all getting desensitized from it. I'm afraid that once they ever get around to this, if they ever do, that people are not even going to be interested in it. You know what? The attention span of most of the United States people that aren't really into politics is that of a gnat. And I'm not trying to be a smartass. They just don't have any idea what's going on. So I had a bunch more questions here, but I've been on here too long. And I'm getting tired. I got to figure out what to do. So let me see if there's, let me look at these really quick. So that's about it. And I want to thank everybody for watching. And I want to thank you for your comments. And thank my people that watch me all the time. And oh yeah, and thank you for the readings, the ones that called me and text me. And that's LynnTarotReadings@gmail.com. If you're interested, we'll send me an email with your phone number in it. And meanwhile, I want to thank all of you and just thank you for your help and thank you for your comments. And bless y'all and have a good night. Namaste. Be kind to everybody. I know sometimes the words out of my mouth aren't that kind, but let's all try to be kind to everybody. Thank you so much.